As a rookie, I did everything that I was told to do. On top of that, I took as much initiative as I could to learn the business. Yeah. I put my hands on many books. I read through those, which helped propel me. But if I knew that business would come from open houses, I did that. If I knew business would come from my friends and family, I attacked them. I called them. I earned their respect. I already had their respect, but they didn't trust me in the industry that I was in.
Yes.
They trusted me as a soldier. They trusted me as a restaurant manager, but they didn't trust me in real estate. So I had to earn their trust by showcasing, this is what I'll do for people. You give my name out, this is what I do, right? And the marketing that we created was just better than what the industry average provides. And that made the phone start to ring, right? Getting my name out there, getting my brand out there. But for rookies getting into the business today, I tell them you're going to have to outsmart or you're going to have to outwork the 4,000 realtors that are out there, or you're not going to make it. If you don't have the grit, it's not time to get in.
Yeah.
Now, once we lose 500 licenses and inventory increases, all right, you could get in. It's going to be a little easier to drum up a deal. So right now, everybody has to work hard.
Hey guys, I'm here with my great and longtime friend, John Simmons. We're going to talk about faith, family, finances, and how he grew a successful and one of the most successful real estate brokerages in Northern Colorado. We're going to talk about how he balanced his family, his faith, his friendships, and everything in between. And make sure to stay tuned to find out why I call him Sexy Simmons. Check it out. Are you a faith-based father and you want to have the adventure of a lifetime with your son? You have to check out the father-son hike of a lifetime on the Camino de Santiago in Spain. June of 2025, I'm going to be taking a small group of fathers and sons over to Spain. We are going to spend 6 days, hike 70 miles, have some of Spain's most amazing cuisines, see some of the most beautiful places and spaces, but most importantly, spend time together bonding with our sons. If you're interested in this adventure, check out mattshoup.com. When you get to the website, click the Gentle Art of Leadership button and hover down to the father-son hike of a lifetime. Sexy Simmons.
Mighty Matt. What's up, buddy?
Well, we know there's a story there, just because we can call each other that and not think twice about it.
Known each other for a while.
Yeah. So this is how we really got to know each other. So I would bump into you at church, coffee shops, restaurants, like all of the fine franchise establishments
everywhere in Northern Colorado. Yeah.
And I'm rolling through a Starbucks one day. Like I remember this like it was yesterday, right? This is how you got your nickname. So rolling through a Starbucks, and we were just at the relationship where, hey, what's up, John? Hey, what's up, Matt? Just waving.
Getting to know each other. Yeah.
Say hi. Kids were going to school together, and I roll up, and girls handing me the coffee, and I see you in Starbucks in the lobby. You see me driving through. Like, hey, Matt. Hey, John. And she looks at me, and cheeks get red. You know that guy? You know that guy? So, yeah, it's John Simmons. Oh my God, he's so sexy. She's like 20, right? I'm like, okay, well, have a nice day. Right, so drive out, and the next time I saw you, Sexy Simmons.
There became the nickname.
And then you hit me back right away, Mighty Matt. I don't think there's a story there. That's just what you called me.
No, you're just Mighty. You're all over the place. I was like, who is this guy? He's younger than me. He's taller than me. He looks a little stronger than me. So I call you Mighty Matt.
All right, man. I'll take it. I'll take it. But man, and then we got to know each other, obviously, as C3. I mean, I remember the day, 12/12/12.
Yeah.
We're sitting at an assembly, school assembly, right? Mm-hmm. For Evan and Riley. And I knew, I didn't know you were starting your business. Or maybe I did. I don't remember. And you were like, hey, Matt, it looks like I'm starting my business today. Because they just shut you down. Previous place you were at, everything got shut down. I think they caught wind of whatever you were doing, didn't like it, and threw you out. Put your stuff in a box, right?
That's right.
Similar story. So lead us up to that. Take us from there. I know we're going to talk about all kinds of other great stuff.
Now, that was actually a great day in hindsight as far as how we were treated when they found out what we were doing. It's an incredible company that we were with. I mean, that's the first 6 years of our life. I still look up to, I'll say his name, Larry Kendall. I call him my real estate father, if you will. There's a high level, mutual level of respect towards each other.
He is. The guy's a legend. Love that guy.
He is. Yes. Their concept simply didn't feed into our strengths and who we were. Both Jesse Lehner and I love to coach, teach, train, develop, empower, mentor. On top of that, we envisioned having a team-friendly concept so that we could focus on our priorities of life, which for me is faith, family, friends, fitness, financing, and fun. And when you're an individual realtor out there without the structure of a team support group, you're married to your phone. And I'm first married to my wife, right? I want to spend quality time with her. I want to spend quality time with my kids. So when you're with a company that doesn't have a team-friendly concept, it forced us to explore other options.
Yeah.
This is after trying to change their current structure.
Did you look at other brokerages, or did you know, like, hey, we want to start our own?
No, we actually did. We spoke to many different companies locally, within Colorado and even other states. We flew to Austin, Texas. We spoke to a couple companies that stood out there, trying to identify what made them tick. How did they have the market share that they had, the reputation that they had? And we found that there was incredible companies all across the nation. So even after we talked to franchises and other companies saying, hey, are we going to hang our flag over here? Is this where our team's going to go? We just decided to start our own thing from the ground up. You can maximize every single penny generated from the company versus paying, franchise fees, royalty fees. You could own your own mistakes. You could own your own successes. It was just easier for us with the talents that we had. As soon as they found out, they slammed the door on us so hard. They referred to us as the enemy, if you will. And again, in hindsight, our policy when somebody leaves us, whether they're starting their own company, they want to go independent, they want to join another company, whatever it is, our policy is in writing. We will love them out the door. So how we were treated in hindsight, man, is the best thing that happened to us because we implemented our policies. It started to identify kind of who we are.
Yeah.
This industry is ultra competitive, man. So there's people coming in, coming out. Thankfully, one of the measures that we look at is our turnover. And year after year for 12 years now, we've had the lowest turnover in the industry, which has been great.
Yeah. Did you think on that day, 12/12/12, when guess we're launching it today, that it would be where it is today? I mean, you are one of the top C3 real estate solutions, top brokerages, absolutely, Northern Colorado, all day long. Yeah, by culture, by stats, by proof, by the people, by everything.
No, I mean, the answer is no. We wanted a small team, 20 people working out of our first office was in Fort Collins on Harmony. And we just wanted 20 people that were like-minded professionals. They commit to a higher level of marketing, services, communication, self-development, everything that encompasses C3. And that's what we thought we would have. But the phone kept ringing. So with that, we opened up another office, and then that office filled. We opened up another office, that office filled. So today we have 140 licenses, 140 realtors, 15 staff members. We have loan officers, property managers, and then a title company as well that we oversee.
So how do you get from Johnny Carinos to real estate? Because, I mean, that's where...
That's actually a great story.
Yeah.
So Johnny Carinos, without that experience as a leader, I would not be where I am today. I came from the military straight out of high school. I knew I wanted to be a patriot. I enlisted in the U.S. Army as part of 75th Ranger Regiment for 6 years. Injured my back. That kicked me out of that career. Trying to find something else, I stepped into the restaurants. Right now, in the restaurants, you got to understand the difference in military leadership and civilian style leadership. In the military, you rule with an iron fist. I tell you to do something, you do it. You do not question me. Right? It's insubordination. It's disrespect. I tell you to jump, you jump. I tell you to fight, you fight. There's no questioning. In the civilian world, you have to be sympathetic and understanding and more nurturing and loving.
How'd that work out for you?
Man, I was turned into human resources numerous times at Johnny Carinos, and thankful to all the employees there that saw me for who I was, stayed with me. Today, we have Johnny Carinos employees that work at C3, right? Because Catherine Moss was one of my servers.
Oh, really?
Todd Jaskolski at the time was one of my managers. I promoted him to general manager.
Yep.
Randy Payne, came here for 5 years. He was one of my general managers. Now he's retired in Italy. So
he's loving it there too.
He's loving it. I mean, a lot of people have reached retirement, through C3. That is very humbling as an owner because you've helped pave the path for their retirement. But again, without Johnny Carinos, man, that's where I learned the velvet glove, just to be more understanding with people. And it is who I am. The military was great, but I feel like I camouflaged, who I truly was. I wasn't emotional. Now, being married, having kids, being a civilian leader, I love people. I truly love people, and that's what I wrote on that card.
Do you think military kind of shut that part of you down? So pre-military, were you the empathetic, sympathetic, caring, and military just made you turn that off?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
My father was a pastor, so I grew up with love, with people around church and smiling and shaking hands. You go to the military and you're trained something else at a pivotal point in your life, right? As a youth, as a young adult. And so they teach you one thing and you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. So you just become intense. There's no smiling. There's no emotions. Everybody's going to die. Matt, you're going to die. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to move forward. There's no tears shed. So now back into the civilian life, man, I cry watching Disney movies now. So it has changed. I'm kind of back to who I was. I believe my emotions back then were camouflaged.
How long did you serve?
6 years.
So you were 18 to 24?
And I was supposed to be a lifer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got out in 1998 is when I ATS'd.
And you were jumping out of helicopters, right? Is that how you got
roping, fast roping, rappelling. I was part of 75th Range Regiment, which even today is an all-male unit. So it's 150 deployments per year, and great experience. So it's the elite branch in the Army.
Yeah. What did you take from that you'll just carry forever, that you really value?
Many things, Matt. I would say character, number one, leadership, discipline, time management, respect. I mean, there's so much that you could take away from the military. And if applied in the civilian world, you will do well in whatever it is that you choose to do.
Yeah. And how did you transition back? Because I meet a lot. I'm sure you've met a lot that don't transition back well or completely. You seemed to have, at least at face value, what I've seen, to just have done it well.
Yeah, no, mentally, it's a challenge. I often used to say that I went from being a hero to zero. You're climbing this ladder there. I was in Warrior Magazine, David Letterman, ESPN, CNN as this fast up and coming, warrior. You become injured, and then you kind of lose a big sense of your identity. Might happen with a lot of athletes or movie stars as well. As they get older, it's like, man, who am I? What am I to do today? Thankfully, number one, I've always had my faith. So that keeps me strong. I do have to step up, step outside or step up to the balcony, right, and look down and say, man, what is it that I have today because of that? And when I look at my wife, I look at my kids, I look at the company, the agents that are there. I mean, there's 180 people that are relying on you to provide for their families. I don't take that lightly, right? In essence, I'll say I'm putting on my boots to go to work so I could go help people. So that helps me from slipping into my PTSD, if you will. And I don't have any from the conflicts. It's more so, oftentimes I wish I was still serving. I wish I was still wearing a uniform.
You miss it?
I do, man. Yeah. It feels like yesterday. I mean, I smell, the fuel from a jet, and I could just feel it. Different temperature changes when I'm out there hiking in the backcountry. You just get flashbacks, of the military. Yeah. You'll never in the civilian world have the same camaraderie, unity that you find in the military, right? And that's why at C3 and even at Johnny Carino's, we focused on how can we get our people to gel together. That's why we have so many culture building activities. Get to know each other outside of the workforce, right? Who are you? What makes you tick? So we still do snowshoe trips, hiking 14ers, movie theaters. We go to the firing range and fire rounds down range, and just so our agents could get to know each other. It's still not the same camaraderie that you'll find in the military. So yes, I miss it.
What's the closest camaraderie that you've seen outside of the military that's as close to the military that you've seen? Man, just to get somebody that's never been in it to understand. I've never been in it.
So one of our
stories.
If you talk about our C's, right, we have character, culture, and commitment. Every company has a culture, right? Mm-hmm. So as an owner, right, you're an owner of multiple companies. You have to decide, well, what's the company culture I'm going to have, right? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? How do I focus on that? And so we did interview a lot of companies, and there's companies that have stood out to us as having incredible culture within their offices. Well, what is it that they do? They have fruit baskets instead of candy. They have amenities and ping pong tables and stuff for their employees. And ultimately, there's a high level of respect from ownership, the leadership, all the way down to, let's say, the janitor.
Yep.
Right. So if you look at companies like Otterbox, and I could give you others that stood out to me, there's companies that have that camaraderie, that synergy amongst their people, but it has to be protected. I mean, we just had our first cleansing, if you will, last year when we had some people that kind of lost heart, lost vision in C3. Maybe it was the leadership, it was the managers, it was the offices. They were just in ruts, right? Well, those guys are gone. Now our production is much higher because that toxicity is gone.
Is the paint or roof on your home or business starting to look a little shabby? If so, reach out to one of our sponsors, M&D Painting and Roofing. M&D Painting and Roofing is a full-service residential and commercial painting and roofing contractor in Northern Colorado. And full disclosure, I'm the M in M&D. Check them out at mdepainting.com. Are you a small business trying to navigate all of the landscape of digital marketing and don't know where to go? Reach out to one of our sponsors, Imprint Digital. They are the go-to source for all things digital marketing. They are the producers of this podcast, and they run all of the marketing for all of my companies. Check them out at imprint-digital.com. Imprint.com.
And as an owner, it's hard, man. I don't want to lose anybody. So you try to change them. Ultimately, if they don't change, let them go. And again, back to how we started, love them out the door. Thankfully, our culture's back to where it once was. Everybody's excited to be there. We still have a lot of team building activities. Yeah. There's also a lot of educational opportunities for our agents, right? Whether it's our monthly meetings. Today, we toured a bunch of farm and ranch properties, which helps you understanding of the market and price points and services, marketing, that type of stuff. So we continue to focus on just gelling together. But I think our culture's up there with some of the best companies that are out there.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. Well, I remember it was interesting because 2016, we took the summer, moved to Spain. Like M&E was just going. It was going. It didn't need me there in the daily ops. Hey, let's go to Spain for the summer. And then I'm in Spain. Like, okay, what's next? I had some interest in real estate. We had done a little bit of investing. I go, hey, I'm going to flip homes. And then I went and got the license. I didn't realize you didn't need a license to flip homes. Nobody told me. So I'm going to get the license, go pass the test, do the thing. And then when people find out, right, all these brokerages find out. And I've never been wined and dined like that in my life by all these brokerages, right? Steak dinners. And I'm like, why does everybody want to talk to me? I found out. It was interesting. One brokerage wanted to do the wine and dine. Right. I said, well, who's your top agent? It's this person. Okay. Can I go hang out with that person? No, they don't want to share their secrets. Well, I don't want to work for your brokerage. Next. Right. And you just said, hey, Matt. And I was calling you Sexy Simmons. Hey, Sexy Simmons, what's up? Mighty Matt, just come hang out with me for the day. I'll show you what I do. If you like how we roll, if you like how we do things, then we'll talk. And we remember that.
I do.
We jumped in the car.
Man.
We drove around. I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah, and that's a sad reality of our industry is, I went to companies when I first got my license and I asked, what makes you tick? Hey, if I have a question on a Saturday night, who is it that I speak to? Do I talk to one of the agents? Oh, no. You don't bother them. Those are independent contractors,
yes.
Whereas our focus has always been, man, we're a team. We are colleagues. We're here to help each other. We will always share in our successes and our failures, and we're going to grow together.
Yes.
So completely different culture there with just camaraderie, synergy and collaboration.
It's been fun. How is just the changing of the industry, right? So you got into it right about the introduction, right, of the internet and social media and online and all of this. And how have you seen it change? There's some timeless things I think that any agent that started in the 70s, 80s, 90s, right, today, basic things you do, but what are some of the new things you're seeing?
Significant changes monthly, annually, if you will. And most of the owners or people that have been in this industry for a long time will tell you that in real estate, the business is always evolving. And most companies, organizations should continue to evolve. Otherwise, your days are numbered, right? But man, from the MLS book to the internet to, clear cooperation and commissions to COVID policies and changes, we used to have to drive cross country to get signatures for an offer, for an amendment, an inspection, objection, resolution, right? You're selling a $30,000 house, out east, or $10,000 piece of land, here in Larimer County. So add up, what's 3% of that? $300, right? $3,000.
Yes. Yeah.
And we used to have to get signatures, from clients on 4 different contracts, 4 different amendments. So everything's changing. Now the ability to have signatures signed electronically, right? Everything's computerized. You have to understand the internet and syndication and search engine optimization. You have to understand all of that. So the days of the MLS book and plopping a sign in the yard are gone. You really have to be forward thinking and understand the internet. Now look at, what am I thinking of? So you could cut that portion out. Thinking of AI.
Yes.
Right. Like now that's coming into play. Mm-hmm. Which helps us with our, captions and dialogue as far as a property, right? Yeah. So everything's always changing in this industry. I don't see realtors going away. Bill Gates is the one.
That's the fear now, right?
That's
the conversation is that people think they don't need it. It's been really interesting with all the NAR stuff. Some of the responses and communications I've got from people. I just told one guy the other day, I'm like, you can go hire somebody else because that's just not true. Yep. There's a service we provide that you're not going to get by doing it the way you think it's going to happen. Nobody's going to come see your home if you don't want to pay anybody to come show your home and represent them. They're not.
Discount brokers and discount brokerages have existed forever. Sellers, at least in the state of Colorado, have always been able to hire whoever they want. Hire this person that offers this little package. Hire this person that offers this package. Yep. You have a low level of service and a high level of service. who do you want to represent you? Right. But even Bill Gates stated that by the year 2020, realtors would be obsolete. Here we are as of last year, 2023, more realtors than ever, right? The largest industry corporation in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Now, with the changes, you will see a lot of the lower producing agents or those that are wanting to retire, rookies trying to get into the business. It's going to shake them out. There's been way too many licenses in this industry with lesser transactions. Right. So I think we'll have a little shakeup, but we're not going away. There's always the need for professional support when somebody's doing the largest transaction of their life.
Have you noticed in the economic cycles that have gone on since you've been in the business too, when rates are low, appreciation's rolling, you have that move up market, you have all these dynamics going on. So-and-so's a bartender at Jim's Bar and Pub, right? Whatever that is, and sees his buddy or his cousin who's a realtor making this big commission selling a $500,000 house, whatever it is. I can do that, right? They go get their license, they come in. In a certain dynamic, you can trip over a couple of deals.
You should. I mean, if you have a good sphere, friends and family.
A lot of people flooding the market. I remember that because right when I got in, everybody was getting in. But when things started getting a little bit tougher, that tree, those branches start growing higher on the tree. Those guys are gone. But the great ones stick. The great ones stay.
And I've always said it. I said, like regardless the economical cycle, doesn't matter what's happening. If you have a good reputation, a good brand, and you offer services, you're always going to have business, right? I mean, look at it. Look at the recession, 2006 to let's say 2012. Those that stood out did well because there's constant change. There's death, there's divorce, there's job loss, there's people moving up, there's people moving down, right? So let's say the transactions are cut in half. Those that offer the best services they'll always have a great book of business, regardless of the economical cycle that we're in.
Yeah. What do you see in the agents that are sticking out this dynamic doing that other agents aren't?
Yeah, a lot of the agents have been forced to step up their game simply to maintain their same level of income. Right. It's easy to forecast, hey, next year we're going to have 30% decrease in transactions, right?
Yes.
We said that in 2021. We said this market that we're in right now is not sustainable. Right. We told sellers, you better hurry up and list your property right now if you want to capitalize on the market. Those that listened did well. Same with buyers, 2006, 2012. You need to buy as many properties as you can. How many can you buy? Let's leverage. Let's pull money out of this one, buy this one, right? Yes. And again, those that listen have done well. They're now retired, right?
They're done. Yeah,
they're
did
gone.
It right. Yeah.
What was your question again, Massey? I already forgot.
No, just how
for you.
Yeah, it's a little squirrel.
Little squirrel.
John Simmons, blooper reel. The hell was my question? Oh no, just how the agents how do they stay at the top of their game?
Yeah. So again, a lot of the agents stepped up their game. They increased their activities that generates business, whether it's the soft touches with their friends and family, being more proactive and asking for referrals, or it's the typical door knocking, right? Cold calling, farming, particular areas, doing open houses, floor, expired and withdrawals, for sale by owners. There's so many activities that agents could do to gain business. When you gain business, you need to rock their world, right? Like the service needs to be incredible so that those clients now become what I call raving fans. Like every time I do a transaction with somebody, my goal is for those people to just spread the word. You just tell everybody, how different I was compared to all the previous realtors that you had.
Yeah.
Now you cut back on a lot of the advertising and stuff. So a lot of our agents are doing well this year. They're having their best year ever in what's considered the worst market in over 30 years. There's been less transactions this year than 30 years ago. Right. So this is the worst market that we've ever seen in real estate in over 30 years.
So when you're like brand new, so I'm thinking of you. I just saw you guys sent out an email a couple of days ago. A couple of the brand new agents that are just stepping in, right? They do all the activities, do all the things, but you've never done a real estate deal. How do you get as a new agent? I mean, what did you do back in the day to get those first 5, 10, just to get some kind of traction? That's great. Like you did all your stuff. You have the great brochure, you've never done anything before. How did you cut in something that's so important?
Yeah,
it's their home. How do you get those first couple of people?
Yeah, as a rookie, I did everything that I was told to do. On top of that, I took as much initiative as I could to learn the business. Yeah. I put my hands on many books. I read through those, which helped propel me. But if I knew that business would come from open houses, I did that. If I knew business would come from my friends and family, I attacked them. I called them. I earned their respect. I already had their respect, but they didn't trust me in the industry that I was in.
Yes.
They trusted me as a soldier. They trusted me as a restaurant manager, but they didn't trust me in real estate. So I had to earn their trust by showcasing this is what I'll do for people. You know, you give my name out, this is what I do, right? And the marketing that we created was just better than what the industry average provides. And that made the phone start to ring, right? Getting my name out there, getting my brand out there. But for rookies getting in the business today, I tell them you're going to have to outsmart or you're going to have to outwork the 4,000 realtors that are out there, or you're not going to make it. If you don't have the grit, it's not time to get in. Yeah. Now, once we lose 500 licenses and inventory increases, all right, you could get in. It's going to be a little easier to drum up a deal. So, but right now, everybody has to work hard.
Love it, man. Well, you've got C3, and then C3 has multiple legs and facets of the business, and you always have a lot of stuff going on. But you also seem to balance that well with family. You know, we've gotten to know your family, Anna and the kids. And how do you do that? I mean, what have been some of the struggles and challenges, and how do you find the proper balance, which I think is a myth, because nothing's ever balanced ever all the time or for too long.
That's right. And I look up to you as well, Matt. I mean, I look at how busy you are, how many companies you have, and you do a great job of spending quality time with your daughter, with your son, with your wife, all together, friends as well. But it's a constant balance. We all agree it's a myth. It will never be achieved. Now, the art of embracing, balancing, that's what we need to focus on. Something's always out of whack. Yeah. You know, if I bump into you in a restaurant, I'm gonna say, "Hey, how are you doing?" You're gonna say, "Man, everything's great." So what's out of whack? Right? Because something's out of whack. You're just not telling me. It's the small talk. Yeah. Right. So if you look at my priorities with the F's, right? The faith, family, friends, fitness, financing, and fun. Well, what's out of whack right now? To me, it's my fitness. So
we were talking about that. We were talking about that at the gym, though. We were at the gym at least talking about how out of shape we are.
Matt, you look good. You're like, John, you look good. I was like, and you tell me I'm heavier than I've ever been. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Well, guess what? We're doing something about it. We were in the gym, right? Like,
aren't we like 500 pounds combined?
Oh man, let's not mention that, dude.
We're close to it,
so.
Right?
Yeah, I'm at 205 right now. So
I'd love to be 240 after the neck, right? Because I couldn't do anything all year.
No, at all. That's right. I mean, I had knee surgery that set me back.
I couldn't even walk fast. That's how chill you had to be with the neck.
Yeah, but like back to the question, like the priorities, like you have to be intentional about that. Like if you're suffering in your faith, do something about that. Whether it's reading scripture, going to church, doing a small group, right? Better prayer habits. You got to do something about that. You don't have faith? Well, you have family. Well, what's out of whack with your family? Do you have a great relationship with your parents, right? With your wife, with your kids? Who are the priorities? You know, there's times my wife and I have drifted apart to the point where we were going to file for divorce, right? People think, I have a beautiful marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years, 28 years of marriage now. And there's been difficult times. It's easy to drift apart. Kids could pull you together. Kids could push you apart because what happens? The focus is now on the children, raising them. Right? Dropping them off, putting them to bed. So now you're not spending quality time together. Right? So we go to counseling and a counselor tells us, Matt says, you guys have things backward. You guys are the team. You need to spend time with each other because it's always about the kids.
Yeah.
Right? And again, we start drifting apart.
So when you talk about, hey, we're talking about filing, was that one of the things? Was it too much energy into the kids and the business?
You just slowly drift apart. You know, the love, the romance, nobody talks about it. Sex, you name it. You just start to drift apart. So we intentionally do things about that. It's like, let's go get counseling. Okay, you don't want to leave me. I don't want to leave you. My vision was clouded. Now it's clear, right? Like I always say, man, if family and let's say marriage is one of your priorities, why aren't you doing anything about it? Yeah. Do you have a financial coach? Do you have a fitness coach? Shouldn't you have a marriage coach? Mm-hmm. Right? Just thinking about it. Do you have a life coach?
Well, it's interesting because like just for you to bring that up, so much respect that you bring that up, talk about that right on the podcast. Because I see so many people, things get hard. Hey, let's just get divorced. Boom. Seems easy. It's not easy after that happens because I've seen people that think it's going to be, and it's just a mess.
I think the next, marriage is going to be super easy, and it's not.
What did you guys do? So was that, I guess, like, how does that get initiated? Was one of you like, hey, let's file, baby? Or was it a mutual thing? And was that kind of a wake up call?
There's been different times. There's been times where she wanted a divorce first. It's like, oh, you fart too much, John. Something pushes us away, right?
You do. He's doing it in here.
Yeah, sorry. There's things that have turned her away. There's things that have turned me away, right? And it's like, man, I'm looking for this, and she's looking for that, or I'm not giving her this, she's not giving me that, and so I'm starting to tell friends now, like, you need to go to counseling before it's too late.
Huge. Yes.
Right. I was like, just to work on the marriage, how are you as a father? We could always be better at everything that we do. And it's not like I'm not content, but I do want to be an incredible father to my boys. I do want to be an incredible son to my parents. I do want to be an awesome husband to my wife, right? So when you slip, get back on the path, right? If you're slipping in faith, you're in a dry season in faith, get back on track. Yeah. We're in a dry season in our physical fitness journey. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the gym.
We're going to get down to 400 pounds combined.
We're going to do a picture without clothes, and let's give ourselves clothes. 2 months.
Maybe without
shirt.
Shirts.
Without a shirt.
Hold on a minute.
That was too much.
What podcast do you think you're on, huh?
Sorry, man. What you were talking about earlier.
The Hawk Tua podcast?
Yeah, right?
That was Matt, by the way.
Isn't that crazy how you can become that famous for saying something like that? Look how hard we're working, man.
I got to create a little slogan.
Dude, maybe we're working way too hard. Like there might be something with the Sexy Simmons. Might do a calendar.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, calendar sheets.
Before and after calendar.
So, see, that's the problem. The women don't like it as much as guys like it. All the sexy realtors at C3.
That's awesome. I love that.
We do have incredible agents, professionally, appearance. I mean, they're just great people.
No, they really are. Yeah. It's been super cool. And Gunnar and I mean, we're working remote because we work here out of the building, so we don't see you guys as much. But it's just always cool to bump into everybody and see all the activity.
I didn't know if we're going to mention that or not, but we're just honored, to have people like you and Gunnar, that are part of the family. Yeah. Because you guys are awesome entrepreneurs. Leave you alone, let you plug and play, go service your clients. Here to support whenever we need to.
And that's what we need. I love that too, because some of the brokerages that I talk to, or at least some agents I know, they're getting micromanaged. I'm like, you don't need to micromanage me. Like we'll go do good.
That's
probably what we need. And I appreciate that you give us that space and don't like bust our balls about it too.
No, and that's
like, where are you guys? Like we're getting stuff done. You see the numbers.
Yeah,
like, we're doing it. Like, Last year was weird. And just my balance got out of focus, and we didn't spend as much time.
Hey,
on
get
the real
back
estate.
on track, right?
And we got right back on track pretty.
Oh, you guys are crushing
quick.
it now. Yeah. And that's something that people don't talk about. Like our model is quality over quantity. We do have incredible top producers. I mean, we have an agent that nobody's ever caught as far as number of transactions, gross commission income dollars, sales volume.
Yes.
So we have some top producing realtors that are ranked nationally, and we also have those that are going to close 3, 4, 5, 6 deals. And as owners, we're okay with that. What we measure is the professionalism and the quality of the transactions. So therefore we have pastors and educators and veterans, firefighters, law enforcement. We have educators, and we have a gentleman that was a principal for 11 years, Poudre School District retiree after 32 years, another one 24 years.
Yes.
We have PTs and paralegals. And I mean, you look at how many companies you own, and we have professional athletes in the real estate industry. We used to say one of our first goals was to be known as another quality company in Northern Colorado. Right? Not better than anybody, just we want to be a quality company. So what are the standards? Right? Later we changed that to we want to be an elite company in Colorado. Mm-hmm. Now we say we want to be one of the most elite companies in the nation. And what's the measure? It's the caliber of the people. Who is it that we have? How do they deal with conflict? How do they deal with negotiations and legal matters?
If you're a Christian small business owner, you have to check out one of our sponsors, the Foundry Advisory. They are a Christian peer advisory community here in Northern Colorado and the Front Range that is designed to give you encouragement, support, and insight to grow your business with other like-minded Christian business owners. Not only are they a sponsor and a partner of this podcast, but I'm also a member of their community. Check them out at thefoundryadvisory.com. If you've got junk in your life or business that you need removed, reach out to one of our sponsors, Hulk Addicts. They are a full-service junk removal company, and they'll be able to take care of you at your home or your business to get rid of whatever you don't want. Check them out at hulkaddictsjunk.com.
So I think we're getting there. In 11 years, 12 years, to be where we're at with the number of people that we have, it's humbling. As an owner, as a leader, it's humbling.
Yeah, you were very actively involved in the production as you're growing the company, right? So it's like you're a producing agent, you and Jesse, and you're the owners. You got all these offices, everything going on. How do you balance that? Because I think you're kind of getting more into more of the management, right? You're kind of on not the tail end. You're not retiring. You're not anywhere close to that. But we had that conversation the other day. Just all this volume. It's just so much.
A lot of companies will talk about, hey, over here we have these leaders, and these are non-compete leaders. They're never going to compete against you. And so they refer to Jesse and I as competing leaders. Like, you're going to have to compete against them. And man, we're here to support our agents. We will give them anything, help them, pass the client on to them if they're ever mentioned. But what our agents value is the fact that we are in the trenches with them. We're not sitting in an office. We're out there adapting to the market as fast as you are. We're implementing the changes, the policies, the addendums, amendments, and we're gifting it, to our agents. So the agents that are here now know that, hey, man, these guys are side by side with us, elbow to elbow.
Yep.
Right. But that's part of that intentional, how do we manage our priorities and how do we continue to focus on balance? I love the fact that Jesse and I could coach, teach, and train our agents, but then we could go sell. If we get tired with the agents, we have our customers. If we get tired with our customers, we have the agents. Yeah. But if you ask me what I'm most passionate about, it's changing lives. It's loving people and changing lives, providing an opportunity, seeing them provide for their families, helping them into the financial freedom world, seeing them retire. That's where I get my joy. So it's more internal. Yeah. So I'm starting to scale back on my production to focus more on leadership so that I can be more effective with our realtors, our staff members, be more present at the national, state, and local level, which will be of value to the company and to the people that are part of the company.
One of the things I remember the most, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but I'll share it here, is you're pretty hands-off with me. I call you when I need you, right? We do our thing.
Got this weird thing, John. Yep.
No, but just it's how we roll. And then, when was it? It was 3-4 years ago. I get a complaint filed against me. Some pissed off agent. I landed and expired and withdrawn from doing something that I uniquely do with my coffee boxes. That's how I landed it. I didn't know these people before. So anyway, we land the listing. And the previous agent, do you remember this?
I do remember.
Reaches out and thinks that I had it some other way. Like, nope, I didn't know these people before. I dropped a box. So she accuses me of sign crossing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what? And I'm ready to fight. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're a liar. Where is this? And we had to go sit down with Dennis, who's another amazing dude, right? In the Remax office up there. Yep. And we start talking about it. And you guys were both right there, had my back, laid it out. You pulled me aside. You're like, Matt, just want to make sure you did everything you're supposed to. Yep. Okay. Going to bat for you. Let's do this. Went in there, straightened things out pretty quick.
Man, I think you handled that with ultimate class and professionalism.
I was so pissed off. And so I don't know why. I was like, how it was just this total false accusation from somebody that was just pissed and catty and pissed they lost the business.
Whereas that agent was the one that had 2 violations, right? Because she violated Article 15 of the Code of Ethics, right? Because you had that text series from her.
Because she texted the customer. I said, well, actually, not only did I not,
she
but you just
crossed.
did.
Yep. And she violated Article 15. Yeah. But I remember you saying, man, all I need is an apology. And the funny thing is that company had filed a formal complaint against one of our agents. So we went down to Colorado Association of Realtors to kind of resolve that matter. And so I look at how they handled the situation versus how you handled that situation. Yeah. And a lot of times, man, as long as if you get that sincere apology, like that's all I'm looking for at times. And I thought you handled it just with utmost class and professionalism. And
hopefully we'll get another one of them.
But when you do the volume that you do, man, it's going to happen. The question is when. I had a false accusation against me as well and had to go through that process. And thankfully, I was cleared of that. The attorney actually told me, well, I need to sue this party. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to sue that party. Like, I'm just good with the handshake there. But ultimately, you exercise reasonable care and skill. You go out there, you do a great job. And most people are going to appreciate everything that you do for them.
It's been super cool just because I didn't plan to have the book of business. You remember this?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know you could flip without a license. And then I didn't realize as I'm studying the license, I got to hang it somewhere. All right, cool. We start doing our thing. And then you're like, just mail out some postcards, do some things, do a couple posts. And all of a sudden we're doing deals. Love it. Just love it.
Yeah. I always say you grew your business organically, which is awesome to have seen. They always say your friends and family are there and they're going to support you as long as you have their trust in this industry. They have your trust. They know you're good. They're going to use you. So we're fortunate because of all people, how to run a company. You run multiple companies, multi-million-dollar companies. Most people, if you were to start your own real estate company, now you're not making money, right? Now you're spending more time running the business than you are serving your clients.
Well, there's a lot to it because we got to a point when I was sitting there with Gunner and I'm like, I wonder what that looks like. And then we're like, that looks like a lot. Do you remember that we had the conversation? It's like that's a lot.
The running joke is the employing broker is broker than the brokers, right? Because it's just easier to go out there and serve clients than it is to lead an organization.
That's awesome. So gosh, like you do so much and such a good job with your kid. I see you guys traveling and trips and time with Anna, time with the kids, the entire family. What's some of the things that you've enjoyed doing? I mean, with your kiddos, just to be a dad to boys.
Most minutes, right? Most hours with these guys is fun for me. Even in conflict, we do it with love. We sit down, we talk to each other. But I have incredible memories with them. I'm glad that I'm in the real estate industry versus the restaurant industry. Here, I get to spend quality time with my family, right? If I'm intentional about it. It's easy to neglect the family and go to the office and work, right? Because we all love what we do. But you really have to time block and spend that quality time with your kids. But I spend a lot of time with my mom and my dad, right? Spend a lot of time with my mother-in-law. Like we travel, we either see her or we fly her in for her to come here. Yeah. There's so many great rewards from the time given to them to the ability to help them all financially, right? My wife comes from humble beginnings. I come from humble beginnings. Neither families had properties. Neither families had, brand new vehicles. So to be the one that has helped both families outside of the financial crunch, there's a reward there as well. Yeah. But I will say, if there's a lot of owners and other entrepreneurs online, you can't do it without a team. My partnership with Jesse Lehner is incredible. And we researched that before we formed our partnership, before we had our partnership agreement, the legal docs, right? We talked to teams that failed. We talked to teams that succeeded. And we learned before we implemented what's our partnership going to look like. To have assistants, I have one that's been with me since the days at Johnny Carino's. She's still here. I have another gal, Tiffany. She's been with me since the previous company that I was at.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. 15 years. Ashley Brantley has been with me for 20 years. Since I got my license, she was already at the group. Right. So people, talk about the team structure and the fluency of the services that we provide. It's because of the team. I can't do what I do without them. Right. So then I tell the owners, you take care of your people, they're going to take care of you, because the turnover is much greater of a loss than if you're able to retain the person that you have, right? Unless you have to make that executive decision and terminate one. Loyalty is hard to find, right? So take care of your people and they're going to take care of you. I would be lost today without my partnership with Jesse, without my wife and her support, without the two assistants, our bookkeeper that we currently have. They're the ones that allow me the ability to have balance and quality of life.
Yeah. So I meet a lot of business owner partnerships that don't go well, end well, probably never should have started.
Yeah. That's most.
It's a lot. I'd
probably say 95% of the partnerships fail.
It's like another marriage, right? You're married to your business partner and that business partner's spouse. So the four of you guys are married.
That's right.
What have been some of the tips that you would share? What do you guys do to keep that thing going strong? What do you do when it gets friction filled?
Yeah, I would say have a meeting once a month. If you don't do it once a month, it's once a quarter. And you're reviewing things and you're having critical conversations and you have to be comfortable with each other. You have to be respectful to agree or disagree, right? So that has helped us. If there's an area of opportunity for Jesse and I right now, it's to spend more time together outside of the business. Because these are two incredible people. I love Amy, I love Jesse, right? But if you don't spend quality time with each other outside of the four walls, just like a marriage, it's easy to drift apart.
Yes.
Right. But we have ultimate trust towards each other's. There's decisions that I have made that he's disagreed with. There's decisions he has made that I have disagreed with. Ultimately, we always have respect, so we find that common ground. Yeah. But I would say seek counsel, talk to other partnerships. There's not that many that are successful in Northern Colorado. Most have fallen apart to the point where it's a sever in relationship. One goes to another company. They hate seeing each other in a room. Right. That'll never happen with us. If there comes a time where we have to part ways, it will be a handshake. It will be a hug, because it's been an incredible journey together.
Do you guys ever get to that point, like you were talking about in the marriage, where it's like, maybe one of us are going to file? You and Jesse ever get there where it's like,
it hasn't come yet.
No,
it hasn't come yet. No, I mean, there's. I wanted to open up the Johnstown office. He didn't want to open up the Johnstown office, and we are a 50-50 partnership. We're not a majority, 49-51. So if there's a decision. If there's a stalemate, if you will, we both have different ideas. We seek legal counsel or another professional to be the deciding factor. Perfect example. I wanted C4 to be the name of our company. He wanted it to be C3.
But isn't C4 that supplement?
No, it's explosive. It's demolition.
C4 is another brand, isn't it, though?
I wouldn't know that. I just know it as demo because I used it to blow up trees and buildings in the military.
It's a pre-workout.
Well, that's C4. Yeah,
Okay.
but
But then
C4 is
there's
a pre-workout. You guys would have gotten.
I'd see. I would know that pre-workout
37 times.
Yeah, but
But I wanted C4, right?
You wanted 4? What was the other?
For the bomb.
Yeah, correct. Right. It's a brick of whatever it is. It's explosive. Put some detonation cord and time fuse on that. Prime it. Boom. I could blow your desk up right now.
What was your 4th C going to be though? Character.
It would have been
culture, commitment.
community. You know, I wanted quality. He reminded me that that's a Q, right? So, like,
Because you can't spell good.
you know,
This guy's selling your house.
I can't spell, man, but that's why I have a computer. Use Matt. Use Mighty Matt. I'll be the first to give this guy a referral testimonial.
But like opening Johnstown, that's no cheap or small or not serious. So you want to open it, he doesn't, and then you go to an attorney that says go ahead and open it, or I mean somebody has to make.
Yeah, I mean in that case, so in our partnership agreement, it does say if one is passionate about a decision, that the other will conform. The other's going to agree. Right. So when I'm ultra passionate about opening this location because of the central location that it was in, right? It's easy to do business in 15 towns surrounding that. It's kind of the aorta. It's the heart of Northern Colorado, right? He finally says, you know what, I'll do it. You know, so that was that respect. Had he disagreed with it, then we would have sought legal counsel for that decision.
Yep.
The C3, C4, we asked our attorney. We said, these are the two options for the name of our company, and we're about to launch. And this is after coming up with L&S, Lehner and Simmons, Simmons and Lehner, S&L. All the Timberline, Front Range, Northern Colorado, all these different companies were like, number one, it's not about us. We didn't want our names attached to it. Like, you know, it's about our people and it's about our customers. Like that's what it's about. So no, it's not going to be our names. Let's come up with Timberline. Let's do this. Let's do Elevations. That was before Elevation started their real estate company.
That's right.
Right. So ultimately, Jesse already owned C3. That was his LLC while he was at the previous company. And mine was Simmons Real Estate Partners. And I also had TWC Investors. Those were my two LLCs.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I was like, C3 is kind of catchy. I was like, how'd you come up with that? And he says, well, that's the first truck that I ever bought. It was a Toyota something C3. And I'm like, dude, so I got the name of our company. It's C4. We're going to call our company C4. We're just going to blow up. You know, boom, like, where'd these guys come from? Which happened, right? He didn't like it. He liked C3. And so we asked our attorney, we said, look, it's either C3 or C4. What would you call it? You know, what's your opinion on this matter? And he says, C3 sounds better. C3 looks better. C3 is non-destructive. I'd go with C3. So we're like, done. So at that point,
That's
I was
like a total
we'll
Jesse.
call it
That's a
C3.
great, because you're high energy, high I party guy, and Jesse's like the very logical, practical. We've done,
Yeah.
You guys are perfect
thinker,
balance.
perfect balance. So his weaknesses are my strength, and vice versa with mine and his.
What would have happened if the partnership was 2 Johns or 2 Jessies?
Man, 2 Johns, we'd probably have 1,000 agents, 15 offices. Probably would have gone through the divorce. My wife wouldn't have seen me. We would have grown up and down the Front Range, franchised. You know, so I call him the VOR. He's the voice of reason. Yes. And he always asks the why. Is it needed? Just like my wife, she always asks why. Is it needed? No, it's not needed. It's just because I want. Right? I shoot from the hip. So we both have strategic as one of our leadership strengths. So it is nice to sit down and strategize on implementing a new initiative, if you will. But I'm more guns a-blazing, shoot from the hip, and he's more thorough, methodical, forward-thinking. Yeah. So we do offset each other. You know, if you want an injection of testosterone, right, estrogen, call me. Like, I'm going to pump you up.
Your testosterone and estrogen?
No, that's for the ladies. I'm just putting it out there for the ladies.
Oh, you're just making sure. Yeah. Okay.
Right. If you want to sit down and be counseled, right, talk to Jesse. I'm a combination, man. You know.
Well, males have testosterone.
That's right.
And estrogen.
Right. If you need a shot of energy, call me.
Just call John. Man, dude, thank you so much. Like, this has been long time coming.
It is.
So
man, I apologize. My voice has not been sexy. Getting over that sinus infection. So, and I'm 50, so I don't think I get those comments anymore. I'll be 50 January 7th, man. I'm pushing the 50 number.
Dude, go. I'm
going to call it halftime. Let's see what happens.
Roll
third
into
and
a
fourth
coffee
quarter.
shop. You go to the counter. I'll go to the drive-through. I'll tell you what they say.
Okay, sounds
We'll
great.
see if you still got it.
That
We'll do that
old
every
man
year.
over there.
Until you
If
don't got it.
anything, they're going to say, man, he's so respectful. Like, that guy's always smiling. That guy's always loving. Yeah. I don't think the sexy's in the equation anymore. We've outgrown that.
It's really funny to see how other agents, and do you remember the first time I emailed you? I didn't realize your assistant checked your email. She's like, what is this? Like, what's this guy calling you this? Because that's all, I call you that all the time. I don't care where I see you, church, out in the street, wherever.
Yeah, like, what kind of relationship do you have with that Matt guy? Oh, it's been great to watch your business grow, Matt. It's been great to know you.
No, thanks for being part of
growing
the
together
real estate journey and life and everything. Who would have thought, man, 12, 12, 12. We'd be sitting here 12 years later, coming up on it, right? Talking about all this crazy, great stuff.
Successes, failures. Yeah. We're growing, becoming better leaders as time passes.
So we wrap up the show same way with everybody. You wrote down the statement that you want to leave with the world when you leave it. What is it?
My heart has changed. My leadership style has changed. But what first came to mind, because you didn't give me any prep time, you just said, "Hey, write something down." And
no, I did. Emily sent you a document that you probably didn't read.
Yeah, that must have happened, or she didn't send me the document.
Oh, I'm sure she sent you the document. Do you think Emily sent the document, Joey?
I think she sent it.
Oh, shoot.
It's okay. You got it. And it's going to be great.
Anyhow, I choose to lead with love, right? So I wrote down, scripture, John 15, 12 through 13. It says, "My command is this, love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for a friend." And I also gave one of numerous quotes from Martin Luther King Jr. It says, "I have decided to work with love. Hate has too great of a burden to bear." So those are the two things that kind of came to mind.
Love it. John Simmons. That's a wrap.
Pleasure, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Seeing you, man.
Hey, thanks for tuning into this week's episode. Would you make sure to please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel here? And please share this episode with somebody whose life it will make better. Hey, one more thing before you go. Head over to my website, mattshoup.com, and make sure that you sign up for the free tools. I will drop you an email with a whole bunch of life, leadership, and business building resources that will make you better. And I'll also keep in touch with you with all of the events, experiences, and updates that I've got coming your way.